Hello, it's Rick Miracle here. Continuing my research on the topic of WTH. What the heck? I've been a researcher since 2005. This is the year 2020. So we'll call this video number 1. Talking about crazy topics. Today's topic, UFOs and aliens. What are they? Who are they? Now let me put this in perspective. I've been researching WTH, what the heck, for 15 years. And I wasn't without some knowledge on these topics. I lived near the Space Center. I worked for a major aerospace company for 10 years in Florida, Kennedy Space Center. And I was always a book reader, popular science, and even some occult stuff, Edgar Casey. I had a curious, inquisitive mind. So I saw most of the space shuttle launches and rocket launches. And, well, anyways, we all know what happened on 2001. And as coincidences would be, around 2005, I ran into a group of people who told me some crazy things. Look at this picture behind me. What do you think? You think aliens and flying saucers are abducting people? So the short story is that around 1947, there was a sighting of a fleet of flying saucers, UFOs, whatever you call them. And that began a whole series of popularity, you can call it even propaganda. Serious sightings were taking place, but it seems like that the government was trying to conceal it, or so it seems. There seems to be a bigger game afoot. So I have been researching different magazines about UFOs and flying saucers and alien abductions, visitations, for the past couple months, quite intensely. And again, I remind anybody watching the video here that I have been a researcher for 15 years, and in July 2019, YouTube terminated my channel abruptly, just shut it down. No strikes against me. I must say I am in a high class of people because a lot of well-known people had their channels terminated about the same time. So the censorship is being stepped up. And in my opinion, the pursuit for a global world order is moving forward, like I like to say, like a freight train. So apparently, the public awareness was taking place, and the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and other social media sites had to kind of slow it down, take people offline who had been studying or reporting for many years. Brother Nathaniel, a man who grew up Jewish and converted to Christianity, a priest, quite popular, making short videos discussing the topics of the day. So what does that have to do with UFOs and aliens? Well, like I said, this is my research material, my first video in 2020. I'm on Vimeo.com now, as well as a couple other sites that don't seem to be serving me well. I had to spend about $1,000 to put the videos on video.com. So I will be trying to use the Patreon account and asking people to help cover the cost, because that means every year it's going to cost me $1,000 or more for that one site. But I do think the research that I do, hopefully using my 15 years experience as a researcher since 2005, my 10 plus years in the electronic industry, working for a major aerospace company, even with a secret security clearance, working in a vault. So I am not without some education in some of these departments, besides being a techie guy and buying popular science and other books and reading them. So you could say most of my life I've been a curious person. So what happens when you spend 10, 15, 20 years delving into something, trying to find the answer? Do you get any closer to it? And the answer is, I say, absolutely yes. And my research has been quite diversified. Everything from the New World Order conspiracy to occult material, witchcraft, Zionism, the Jewish religion of the Kabbalah, Zohar, Talmud, which is probably why my channel was terminated on YouTube when I started touching on those topics. So, what does all this have to do with UFOs and aliens? Are they real? What is real? Well, I believe I have some answers. My first answer is, to myself and to share it with other people watching this video, is people saw something. Apparently, one UFO researcher sent Albert Einstein a letter and said, there's in the news all over the world, in Brazil and Japan and Russia and England and France and America and Canada, everywhere. The newspaper would have short little clippings, news articles, about the locals seeing some anomalies in the sky, flying saucers, even little men walking around. Acting, generally speaking, kind of friendly, almost like they were investigating the surrounding, like they were here inspecting something. So there's no doubt that this stuff was in all the newspapers. And some researchers, professors, people with PhDs, went back in time, even into the Bible. And other resources, like insurance companies, Lloyd's of London, and looking for material. And even in Lloyd's of London, in the 1600s, 1500s, 1700s, and before, there would be ship's captains reporting these events where they would interact, or a UFO would buzz the ship, maybe break the mast, etc. And so when they got back to port, they would file a report. So it's quite bizarre, but it's well documented. There are books published. So this is video number 1, trying to get a feel for how I want to make this new series in 2020 and what I want to call it. I guess the channel will be the year 2020. And the Rick Miracle research on varied topics. The banking system, the New World Order, electromagnetic radiations, other kinds of weapons, satellites being put into space so that everybody everywhere can have Wi-Fi. Are these technologies dangerous? Well, I believe for the uneducated ones of us, I can answer that question clearly. Yes, microwaves are dangerous. You would not stick your head in a microwave. You would not want to operate a microwave oven that was leaking. You would not want to walk by those towers they're putting up everywhere. Cell phone towers, they call them. First, they have huge fences around them. And if you can get close enough, usually within 30 feet, and you can see the big warning signs, Bring a pair of binoculars, you can read all the words. So they're telling you the microwaves are dangerous. This is old news. When I worked at a major aerospace company where they were developing new technologies, and they had all the dishes out there in the field, they had big signs that said don't walk near the dishes. They could seriously harm you, make you sterile, etc. And many incidences occurred on military ships where people would wander too close to a microwave transmitter dish and get fried. So it depends on the level of energy. So we have all these advanced technologies. We have all this economic banking system controls. We have all these wars and events like 9/11, World War I, World War II. And in the past 300 plus years, a serious pursuit to bring about a global world order. Does it have anything to do with these things? And again, I say absolutely yes. So when Einstein received a letter from a UFO researchers asking Einstein what he thought about the UFOs and reports, and Einstein wrote that UFO researcher back and said, obviously, people are seeing something, but I don't care. Einstein didn't care. I suspect there's a logical answer for that reason he didn't care. He probably knew. He was one of the co-inventors of the nuclear bomb. He was on the inner circle. The groups of people who went to the Bohemian Grove, where they conspired to create the nuclear bomb, which is a spooky place with a demon god owl statue called Moloch. So they were into some pretty sinister activities. So is this a sinister activity? Is this related to biblical history and other religions' history and worldwide monuments all over the planet, pyramids and statues and Eric Van Doniken's materials, Zacharias Stitchin's materials? The answer is, according to my results of all the research I've done, yes, they are connected. So this is my first video, and this year I will keep all of my videos short, but I will prolifically make them. Video number 1, this one, number 2, number 3, and they'll all be labeled the same thing. Year 2020 Rick Miracle Research would probably be a likely title. Keep it short. So I would thought on this video I would tell you right out what I think's going on. Do UFOs exist? Have people been seeing them? And the answer is an obvious yes. You can go on MUFON and other UFO reporting sites right now and look up the sightings in the past 24 hours. There's usually a dozen or so. So the question is, what are they seeing? Are they benevolent? Caring for humanity's future and well-being? Or are they sinister and with a serious, sinister intent? The answer to that question is, they're both, in my opinion. And I've done the research. And there are some indicators to tell who's who in these craft. Let's just, for a minute, propose the personality traits of two characters in this play of human reality. God and his opponent, the devil. So if things are being kept secret, would God keep secrets? Apparently not. Would the devil keep secrets? Apparently yes. So if you apply that philosophy to this technology and sightings and activity, the information, it seems to be pretty clear, in daylight, interactions appear to be of the God world. The ones at night and the spooky activities and abductions and all that would be from the satanic world. And when I say the satanic world, and there's a lot of agreement on the things I'm about to say, I say from the non-physical realm, the occult, the Kabbalah, witchcraft, magic, magicians, the Talmud, the Zohar, and secret societies. There you go again. God does not keep secrets. God sends somebody like Jesus Christ to walk around telling everybody right out in the open. That would be of God. And then the evil people who conspired to have Jesus murdered, killed, obviously, are from an opposition religion. So apparently these interdimensional, non-physical reality entities that are on this planet, after all the research that I've done, there's two classifications. There are benevolent beings outside the Earth's atmosphere that care about us, apparently, according to my research. And there are sinister, evil entities, physical and non-physical. And in the benevolent good beings, there are physical and non-physical. So you have two realities to keep in mind when you talk about this stuff behind me. So the fact that Einstein said, obviously people are seeing something. I continue to order books. I have almost 200 books on the UFO alien topics. So I'd like to just show a little bit of the material. Obviously I can't say everything in this video, but this is series number 1 in the year 2020. And so if you watch enough of the videos, and you'll be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So I just got this book in the mail. Caught on film. Now you have to ask yourself, could all this information just be false, fake news, fabrication? Well, I got all these books, and I've got some serious quantities of magazines and books, and I've been doing this for many years. So like Einstein, I believe people are seeing something. Here are some pictures. Just going to make this quick. So these pictures, this is a typical 1983 V-shaped black gigantic craft. Looks like a boomerang. And they were seen all over Connecticut and New York and Massachusetts in 1983. And the name of the book was Night Siege. And I made a video on that in my Freemasonry and Satanism series. So there are some of these crafts that are human-made. Apparently the powers that be in our government are 100 years advanced in technology than they would have us believe. So that's page 27 of this book. Here's page 95. I don't want to fool around in my videos and make 2-hour videos. I want to get the message to the public quickly, because I believe that time is short. I don't know what's going to happen, but apparently a lot has happened. Preparations for some huge event. And it just makes sense to me that the year 2020 Could be the year. And a lot of activity like censorship is up. Okay, so that's page 123, 147 here. So you got 150 plus pages in this book that I picked up on abebooks.com for just a couple dollars. Just go on Abe Books, like Abe Lincoln, and put in flying saucers, UFOs, and it sorts the books out by the lowest price to highest price. So you can find books like this for $3 and $4, free shipping. I have nothing to do with Abe Books, other than it's a popular site for me to get material. Another character that's been popular lately is Stephen Greer. See the name on the bottom here. And disclosure. They're talking about disclosure. Stephen Greer. Extraterrestrial Contact. Stephen Greer. The big, thick books. Thick as my hand here. So he's running all over the country, speaking to congressmen, senators, and people, and getting all these witnesses to these sightings that were obviously real. But let's get back to the question. What are they seeing? And are they evil or are they just friendly? Apparently, they're both, as I said earlier. A place where I got a lot of material is a website called archive.com, ARCHIVE. In the center of this video, archive. Very important you write that down. If you want to do some research and verify the things I'm saying, archive.com is an awesome site. Again, I have nothing to do with archive.com, as well as I have nothing to do with abebooks.com. And there are other used book sites like Cheap Books, Amazon, Alibis. Anyways, if you go on archive.com and you type in search for UFO magazines, like I did right here, you get all these results. All these results, free. Archive.com. UFO magazines. UFO books. I put in UFO magazines, so I predominantly got magazines. Again, I'm trying to get this information out there in a no-nonsense method by just blatantly telling you how it is of all this research I've done. So archive.com. And I was curious. When did the magazines start? And how many different UFO alien magazines were there after 1947? When Arnold sighted a fleet of flying unknown craft in the mountains around Washington State. And then after that, people were sighting them everywhere. And in my opinion, like World War II, where they developed a nuclear bomb and confiscated all of the documentation of the Germans and all their research, who were into the occult, communicating with some beings from the non-physical reality or secret underground facilities that have existed for thousands of years, known by many people who pay attention to this stuff. Shambhala, Agartha, apparently Shasta Mountain, Pine Gap in Australia. So apparently in secret locations all over the planet are some ancient people with knowledge. And again, I'm making the information short here and sharing it. But apparently, and I believe a lot of people will believe this, Earth wasn't created yesterday. It's been around quite a while. Apparently, at one time, Noah was told by God or some being, go build an ark, because there's going to be a great flood, and I intend to save you. Even the Hopi Indians out west here in America were told by some beings to prepare underground caves because these beings wanted the Hopis, some of them, to survive. And apparently over there around Greece and Turkey, there are underground caves. All over the world, there are these stories by these indigenous people about surviving the Great Flood. Cataclysmic events. And we can see the mountains and the earthquakes and all that around us everywhere. So there have been some huge disturbances on planet Earth. And apparently, according to the Rosicrucians and other people into the occult, the books they have, I know I'm dumping a lot of information on here, but I want to tell you who I think these things are. But apparently there's a little question about the ancient civilization of Atlantis with advanced technologies. And before Atlantis was Lemuria with advanced technologies. So the Great Flood didn't wipe out all of this intelligences and these beings. Apparently, some of them, according to Zachary Stitchins, went up into space in craft to survive the upheaval on planet Earth. So apparently, again, these craft are real. They come from two sources, the occult, spiritual reality. And they have facilities, underground facilities, all over the planet where they're manufacturing these. And they show them, they make themselves be seen because they want to try to trick we the people that the spiritual world doesn't exist. There is no God. It's this New Age occult stuff. It's the historical battle, the battle of the cosmos between good and evil. And I have a better terminology for it. It's the battle between order and chaos. So if you don't like the words good and evil, think about order and chaos. And apparently, according to the Bible, a third of the angels were cast out of heaven, up there in the spiritual realm, and they were cast into a containment area, which I feel is earth. So on this earth, under the earth, in the earth, we have these beings, and they have technologies, and they are some of the objects that are sighted. And apparently, from the benevolent God world, there are other craft and beings telepathically, like throughout history, prophets and all that, who are communicating to people on earth, trying to warn us and prepare us for the coming future events. So the answer to my question when I started this video, what are these things? I say, let's say 50-50. That's good enough for me. Might be more evil and less good, or more good and less evil. But there are sinister beings at work that want to enslave the planet. There are benevolent beings communicating with people and sightings that are seen in the clear of day that are beings here trying to warn us. And apparently, according to the end times, the people who side with God, order, will be taken off the planet to escape this containment planet with these evil beings, which are apparently, according to my research material, and I've done a lot of it, the cosmos, the God world, God, whatever you want to call it, does not allow the evil entities off this planet. And I thought about that. And I think about CERN with the goddess of destruction, Shiva statue out front. I believe that these evil entities interacting with the other dimension and this dimension are trying to find a way into the other world, the other dimension, and using the collider and CERN and technologies and vortexes, call it time machines if you want, they're trying to break free, like breaking free from prison. And they're using the resources of planet Earth. and we the people, and they intend to enslave us. They want everybody to join the dark side. That's why you have the propaganda of the New Age and all that chaos instead of order in the TV programmings, even in that TV program called Lucifer. So I'll end this video at 30 minutes and conclude it by saying, it appears clearly to me people are seeing something. And you haven't begun to see the amount of evidence I have. This is going to be video number 1. And I'm going to show that evidence in video number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 25 and 55 and 105, as many as it takes for me to share the immense amount of material that I have collected. The 200 books on UFOs and aliens. The 400 or 500 books on the occult. The 300 or 400 books on the New World Order, the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, the Zionists, and the reason they bring us these revolutions and these world wars. It promises to be an interesting plus or minus 30-minute video on these intense topics with answers, what I think and where I found the information. So when you see anything strange in the sky, orange orbs are reported on the MUFON reporting website all the time. Apparently they're survey drones. They look like a big orange ball, yellow, orange, red, fiery, and they come in sometimes in clusters. And it's in the material for the past 50 years. And apparently they're scanning the whole planet, looking for resources. It's all about resources and technologies, apparently for some sinister beings on this planet to try to get back into the cosmic world where they were expelled from. And there are benevolent, apparently godly, or from God world, craft and beings communicating with we humans, trying to warn us, telling us all these details. That's where I got it from. So Einstein said he doesn't care. That seems strange to me. But then again, he was part of the group of people who built the nuclear bomb. And Japan wanted to surrender, but they didn't want Japan to surrender. They had to use those nuclear bombs to sway the minds of humans on the planet about this new reality we're all facing. Propaganda, mind control, deception. So thank you for watching video number 1 in my year 2020 series. The Rick Miracle continuing to research WTH. What the heck is going on?